Hello. Welcome back to another PILCast episode. Now, in this episode, I have a special guest, Jimmy Abiad, who's a component level acquisition innovation advocate at the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, right within DHS. And you're going to learn what it is that he loves most about his job, what they did to set up their innovation lab at ICE, and also what he would do if he was tasked with setting up one all over again. So listen in, take some notes, and hope you enjoy the episode. The information discussed in this PILCast episode are merely opinions and do not constitute formal policy or legal guidance of any kind. So, Jimmy, just to hop right into this, what do you like the most about your job as being the ICE acquisition innovation advocate?
Yeah, it is still my more favorite part of my role. I really like being able to be a coach and playing that role with teams, with acquisition teams. What makes it a little different from a typical operational role is that I am not anybody's supervisor. So I don't have to force anybody into doing anything. I just get to be there to encourage something that will be of benefit to them. So it just kind of reminds me of a sales role, which I would hate. I don't have to sell anybody because it's not my responsibility in the end. I just get to be there to encourage ways to make things better and I think more fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I wish I had a job like that. Can you share with everyone, I guess you have a team at ICE that supports you. It's not just you providing acquisition innovation support. You have a whole team. And so can you share with everyone how your team is kind of set up, what you all do to support ICE with procurement innovation?
Yeah. So a few years ago, kind of inspired by some other component examples, I started the ICE Procurement Innovation Council, affectionately called the ICE PIC. And it kind of came together a little bit grassroots, which I appreciated. What I found was a few contracting officers in our organization that were in operations that were interested in innovation and interested in the Procurement Innovation Lab. They were interested in learning more and applying these techniques. So eventually I was just like, why don't we all meet and talk together and just get started there? So it just got started with some like minds coming together and talking about how to apply these techniques to their own procurements. And now it's turned into a regular once a month meeting where we disseminate information and encourage ideas and discussion and welcome guests, talk through acquisition innovation at ICE.
That's great. And is there anything key to setting this up that you felt like, I guess it was anything that was important that was a key to making this thing kind of a success and helping it kind of continue to grow within your organization since you established it?
Yeah, funny. I just think of now that it's kind of like starting a new relationship, whether it be a friendship or romantic. I think it's something where you want to find someone with a shared vision. You want to find someone that genuinely cares, that is passionate about the work, where you share some of that energy and that vibe together. I think that's just so important because then naturally you'll build that foundation that you can then build on and kind of, spark little ideas inside of each other as time goes by.
Okay. And now I know you've developed a relationship with your legal counsel over time as well. Do you think this has been helpful to you as you're supporting your component with procurement innovation techniques?
I think so. I think it definitely is one of my more favorite parts of it. It is probably the most engagement we have with legal other than just doing legal policy reviews. So I think as many folks might have experienced in the acquisition field, there is a definitely different approach that legal comes with than the typical contracting officer. And often it's hard to bridge those differences and to understand one another. So I think what was important to me was to at least have some sort of forum, whether it happens all the time or not, just some sort of forum where you can at least bring up things and learn from one another and kind of ask, oh, how do you see this? This is how we see it. Can we get your feedback and make it a non-threatening space for that?
Okay, awesome. And now, for anyone out there, let's imagine, you weren't at ICE at all. You're at a different organization altogether, and you were tasked with setting up your own innovation or lab team council. What would you do? What would you do, or what would you focus on, or what would you try to do to make that a success?
Yeah, well, number one, I would go right back to what I mentioned, which kind of naturally worked for us, was finding people with those shared values and vision. I think that's going to be your foundation, your core as you build from there. Because that's all about creating that culture, creating that team where you can bring diverse points of view, share ideas, and try things out without fear of failure. So I think that's huge. And then on top of that, I want to just say to prove yourself useful. I think often a lot of these things are government-y buzz terms. But if you can actually prove yourself useful to a team, give them templates, give them time, give them ideas, give them examples, help them think outside the box, then just naturally you'll start welcoming people back, or they'll welcome you back, really. And then just on top of that, to be consistent and reliable. So, almost as I would say to any contracting officer, is to be responsive to emails. Make space for people, give them ways where they can learn, grow, maybe even mess up. And then when you have wins, to just really run with them. So if there is a success, I think the PIL is really good at this, then to document that, share it. People love some recognition in the office. So if somebody does a good job, just celebrate it, encourage them through it.
And maybe you could share with everyone, how do you do that sharing? Do you have any forums internally at ICE that you share those experiences and stories with everyone?
I think we could do better. But in general, because it is something I think, especially as a leader, you have to intentionally think and plan for. And remember that when there is a win, not just think like, oh, people are doing their job, let's move on. And remember that these people are actually contributing and you're benefiting from it, and to actually think of it as a tactic to help inspire other people to do better. So we do it. I mean, we have our monthly meeting. So of course, celebration happens there and just sharing ideas. I think people just love to come to those meetings, which is a fun byproduct, is that people actually like to be there and they bring questions. So I think that's a good thing. Other than that, once in a while, of course, we'll submit recommendations to leadership so they can be praised for what they've done. Once in a while, we send organization-wide emails as well. But I do think there's probably more we could do other than just like a Starbucks gift card, which sometimes also happens. But just looking for fun ways that might be more meaningful to each person.
That's great. Awesome. Well, that's great information. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for being here with us and sharing this great information as a resource to everyone out there. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Of course.
All right. Excellent. All right. Well, everyone, be sure to like this channel, share it with your friend. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Hit that subscribe button so you get the updates on more videos like this, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.